Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel Botany for All. In today's video, I'm going to discuss about an organization that is IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. And we will also discuss about the publication of the IUCN that is called the IUCN Red List or the Red Data List, which is also important topic for different competitive examinations. So firstly, I will talk about the IUCN. So as the name suggests, it is an organization which is mainly focusing or primarily focusing on the conservation of nature. So it is an international organization. It means it is a worldwide organization which is mainly working in the field of nature conservation. Nature that include all of the living organisms as well as the natural resources. So the complete nature conservation. Okay, it is dealing with the nature conservation as well as the sustainable use of the natural resources. All of the natural resources which can last long or that can also be used by the upcoming generations, that is also ensured by the IUCN. So this word, particularly the sustainable, that means we can use all of the natural resources in the upcoming time also. So all those strategies, all those plans, all those analysis, research and all that, they are ensured by the IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. So this organization was established in 5th of October 1948. So it is way long back, so approximately 70 years. So it is an old organization which was founded in 1948. Previously, it was called International Union for Protection of Nature and Natural Resources. So it was a long name previously, but nowadays it is called the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of the Nature. So this was old name. It was established in 5th of the October 1948. If I talk about the main roles of the IUCN, so it is mainly involved in the nature or the conservation of nature, involving the data gathering, any kind of the data that is being linked with the nature or that is being associated with the nature, that is being collected by the IUCN. Along with that, any kind of the analysis based upon the biotic or the abiotic factors in the nature, that is also being analyzed by the IUCN. It is mainly focusing on the research in the field of nature, as well as it is also focusing on the education related with the nature. So there are many roles. Among them, the most important is the its publication, that is Red List or Red Data List. It is called IUCN Red List or also called the IUCN Red Data List. Generally, it is also abbreviated as Red Book. So IUCN have an important publication that is called the Red Data List or the Red List of the IUCN, which is mainly focusing on the conservative status or the conservation status of the species worldwide. किसी भी species की अगर बात करें, any of the plant species as well as the animal species. So what is their conservation strategy? Whenever we will search that species on the Wikipedia also shows a conservation status. So that status or that category mainly referred by the IUCN and particularly in the Red Data List. So an important publication of the IUCN, which is called Red List or the Red Data List. This is the main functional component or the main aspect of the IUCN. So this is another important topic, the Red Data List, which mainly focusing on the conservation status of any species. The conservation status. So it was basics about the IUCN. Now I will discuss about the IUCN Red List or the Red Data List. Prior to that, we will also discuss about the headquarters. So the headquarters of the IUCN is in Switzerland. Okay, so in the Gland city in the Switzerland, the headquarters of the IUCN is situated. So now we will discuss about the IUCN's Red List, which is also called the Red Data List or the Red Book. So it is an important publication by the IUCN, which is mainly focusing on the conservation status of the species, the animal species as well as the plant species. So it is mainly focusing on the conservation status, that how the species is being have a systematic position according to their conservation status. For example, there are many species which are now extinct, means the non-individuals of them are now remaining. There are some species which are not having any data. Okay, so they will be abbreviated or they will be categorized in the data deficient category. So particularly all of the species which are categorized under this IUCN Red List, they have been given a status, particularly whether they are extinct, whether they are threatened, or they are at a lower risk. So the conservation status of the species is being given in this book. Particularly, there is a category which is called threatened category. It is a collection of categories which is called the threatened category. So the red data list mainly focus on the threatened species only. Although there are many species, although there are many categories also other than the threatened, but the main concern about the conservation status is primarily focusing on the threatened species. So sometimes it is also written as the IUCN threatened red list or the IUCN red list for the threatened species. The threatened species also include three other subcategories, which are critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerable, that we will going to discuss soon in the same video. So talking about the red list, the headquarter of the red list is situated in the United Kingdom. We remember it is a publication of the IUCN. So the headquarter of the IUCN was in the Switzerland, but the headquarter of the IUCN Red List publication, it is situated in the United Kingdom, because it is world's most comprehensive inventory of the global conservation status in the biological species. There are many other associations or the publication also which gives the conservation status, but among them this IUCN Red List is the most acceptable and the most comprehensive invention of the decade of the the past few years. As I have already given an example that on the Wikipedia also the red list or the red data list conservation status is being given. So what are some categories that we will discuss in the video, that what are some categories in the IUCN red list. So prior to that, I will also discuss about the history. So it was founded in 1964 and the headquarters is situated at the United Kingdom. So in the IUCN red data list, there are 9 categories. There are total 9 categories in which the conservation status of the species is classified. So what are those 9 categories that I will write now? There is particularly a point that we should remember, that in the publication there are some pink pages and some of the pages are green also. So the pink pages particularly represents the critically endangered species. Whereas the green pages represents the species which were formerly endangered. Formerly means जो पहले endangered थे. So I will write that represents species which were formerly endangered. But somehow due to some overcome strategies or some good strategies by the government or the individual people, so those particular species are now recovered to the point where they are no longer threatened. So they are no longer threatened now. Okay. So the green pages represents the formerly endangered species which were endangered previously, but they are no longer threatened or endangered now. And pink pages represent the critically endangered species. Now I will write about the 9 categories of the IUCN Red List. So in the Red List, there are 9 categories, starting from the upper one. One is the extinct. Another is the extinct in the wild. Next is critically endangered. Fourth one is the endangered. Fifth is the vulnerable. Sixth one is the near threatened. Seventh one is the least concern. Eighth one is the data deficient. And ninth one is the not evaluated. Ninth one is the not evaluated. So these are 9 categories. As the name itself indicates about the conservation status, I will discuss in detail now. So first is the extinct. So extinct simply means that there are no known individuals remaining now. There are no individuals. At the known places or the places where we can reach or we have any idea about that place. So there are no non-individuals available now about that species. For example, there is in species X. Actually, I will say there was in species X. So there is no single individual of that species now available on the earth. So that particular species is completely extinct. Okay. So this is the first category, which is the extinct category. There is another category that is extinct in the wild. Extinct in the wild means in their natural habitat. For example, any of the species that is being found in their natural habitat, so they are no longer available. Okay, they are no longer available in their natural habitat. But some of the members of that species may particularly known to survive in the captivity or imprisoned. Means in an artificial environment or in an cultivated environment, some of the members, some known members, okay, they live in captivity. Captivity means kind of a prison. Okay, means in an artificial environment or a man-made environment. So some known members live in captivity. So there is a slightly difference between the completely extinct and the extinct in the wild. So the both of the categories among these 9 categories, the both extinct as well as the extinct in wild, they are generally called extinct. Okay, these three, the next three, the critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerable, okay, they are generally called threatened. So as I told you earlier, the red data list is mainly focusing on the threatened species. It is mainly focused on the threatened species because the conservation status of the threatened species is most important. The species which are now extinct, they are no economical value or ecological value because we can't do anything to them because they are already extinct. But if we are knowing about the critically endangered species, so we can make some strategies or some good plans to prevent their extinction. If the critically endangered species will be extinct, there will be loss to the nature. So if we are identifying or the IUCN is identifying some species which are critically endangered, so must be we are planning or we are doing some strategies to overcome their extinction. So this is the most important one, the threatened one. And threatened include 3 of them, the critically endangered, the endangered, and the vulnerable. Okay. So what is critically endangered? It is at the extremely high risk of the extinction. It is at the high risk of extinction. So how we will know that particular species at the extreme high risk of the extinction? So there are some criteria like there is reduction in the population. Approximately 90% of the population is now reduced in the last 10 years. For example, in the last 10 years, for example, there were 100 members. Now there are only 10 remaining. So it means 90% of the population decrease is there in the last 10 years. So it means it is a criteria that this species is at the critically endangered species, because per year almost 10% of the members are being extinction or reduction. So these are the critically endangered species. There is one more criteria about the population size, that number less than 50 mature individuals. The available member of that particular species on the earth or a particular biome or the ecosystem is very, very less. That is less than the 50. So that will be critically endangered species. So these species should be firstly preserved or should be firstly conserved in the threatened. So this is the critically endangered. Next one is the endangered, slightly lower than the critically endangered. And as the name suggests, the species which are at a high risk of danger, or they will soon become the critically endangered. So they will be at high risk of extinction. They are also at high risk, but they will firstly classified or changed into a category that is critically endangered, and maybe they will extinct in upcoming years. So endangered is slightly lower category than critically endangered, but all same means they are also at high risk of the extinction in the upcoming time or in the wild. Next is the vulnerable. Vulnerable means high risk of the endangerment. Right now they are not endangered somehow, but they are at high risk of endangering in the upcoming years. It is a prediction about the vulnerable species that they will soon in the upcoming years, they will also become endangered. And once they will become endangered and still they are not protected or conserved, they will also extinct. Means they are also at the risk of extinction, but in the upcoming years. That category is the vulnerable category, which is abbreviated as the VU. So these three, critically endangered, and vulnerable, they are also called as the threatened species or the threatened red data list. Next one is the near threatened. Near threatened means likely to become endangered in the near future. Okay, not in the just upcoming years, but in the near future, they may be or they likely to become endangered. So it is also kind of vulnerable, but the period or the time period is more than the vulnerable. So they are near threatened, means they may be get endangered, may get endangered in future, means in long time. That is near threatened. Earlier, there was one more category which was called conservation dependent, CD. Conservation dependent. So that is all same. Conservation dependent as well as the near threatened were same. So it is merged in the near threatened category. So there is no CD category now. The conservation dependent category is not there. It is called near threatened now. So after the near threatened, next is the least concern, the seventh category. As the name suggests, the least concern means at the lowest risk. Means we are not talking about the conservation status of the species which are included in the least concern category, because it means there are high number of the organisms available or they are widespread and abundant in their environment. They are widespread and abundant. That's why they are of least concern. We are not talking about them, or the IUCN is not talking about them that they are threatened, because they are not threatened, they are least concerned. So this is the next category. Eighth one is the data deficient. As the name suggests, not enough data to make an assessment of its risk of the extinction. So there is no enough data. IUCN or the researchers does not have any data about any particular species. So they are not able to classify them, whether they are critically endangered or they are of least concern. So some of the species are also there, which are data deficient. And next one is the not evaluated. It means the researchers has not yet been evaluated against the criteria. See, there is a slight difference between the DD, data deficient, and the not evaluated. In the data deficient, we are having a range or the outcome of that species, but the data is not enough that we can calculate whether it is endangered or the vulnerable. But in the not evaluated, we have not, the researchers have not yet touched that species or does not have study about that species yet. So not evaluated means does not studied or has not yet evaluated that species. So these are the 9 categories: the extinct, extinct in the wild, critically endangered, endangered, vulnerable, near threatened, least concerned, data deficient, and the not evaluated, which are the most important categories. The direct definitions of these categories are generally asked, or it is also asked that how many numbers of categories are in the IUCN Red data list. We will also talk about the examples in the India as well as the worldwide in the upcoming videos. So this is the most important about the red data list, that how many categories are there and what category deals about the what thing. Okay. So these three, the critically endangered, endangered and vulnerable, they are also called the threatened red data list. If I talk about particularly our country, that is our nation, India. So in the India, as per the data of 2015, there are 988 species, okay, in the threatened species of the red data list. These are some species. 988 species are there in the threatened red data list, means critically endangered, endangered as well as the vulnerable. So 3 of these categories contain 988 species, okay, of the animals as well as the plants. In the upcoming videos, we will talk about the examples of the Indian species that are critically endangered or vulnerable. And also we will discuss about some important species of the world which are critically endangered or the vulnerable, means which are threatened. So quickly, if I talk about some examples, so the Himalayan brown red bear, the Himalayan brown or red bear, okay, these are of India. So it is critically endangered. It is a mammal which is critically endangered. If I talk about some another species, so the Kashmiri stag or the hangul, you may search the Google for the images. The hangul is also an critically endangered species in India, which is also a mammal. Pygmy hog. Pygmy hog is also a critically endangered species, and it is also a mammal. If I talk about the endangered species, the red panda, it is endangered. The golden langur, it is also endangered. If I talk about the vulnerable species of the India, so the Nilgiri marten, so Nilgiri marten is vulnerable. So we will use the abbreviation of the vulnerable, that is the VU. So these are some species, or these are some mammals of the India which are vulnerable, critically endangered or the endangered. So in the upcoming videos, we will also discuss about the other categories of the animals like reptiles or the birds or the amphibians or some kind of the fishes or the marine organisms or the aquatic organisms which are critically endangered or endangered. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.